Grand Risings. Today is Thought Provoking Thursday on the Shekinah Wisdom Podcast. Today, my lovelies, I want to talk to you about situations where you have to learn how to speak up for yourself and communicate what your truth is unapologetically. There are going to be, but when you do that, there's going to be those that are afraid to live their truth that will try to silence you from living yours because they lack the confidence. And sometimes it's not even negatively like as far as them not wanting you to succeed. Sometimes it could be they don't not wanting you to fail because they're judging you based on their self-imposed limitations. And I'm here to tell you that you have to do it anyway. Go out and dare to be different, right? And we're not talking about scenarios where we know like the outcome of failure is like 98%. Like, for instance, I'm going to walk this tightrope over this lava pit. Like, no, we're not talking extreme scenarios, right? We're talking about light everyday scenarios, right? And about suppressing who you are to appease other people, right? Like, we have this outer persona, and then there's who we are behind closed doors. When social media is shut off, when when everything is just you. And when you have to face just you, what is that truth telling you? That truth is telling you whatever you say you are. Be mindful of your I am statements. Your I am statements can make or break your situation, right? And when you're teaching, right, you gotta do more and hurt less, right? Because when you teach with your wounds, the students are going to be wounded. Or at least they're going to get the residue of your wounds on them. And we don't want that. I've seen what happens when you're wounded and you're teaching other people how to heal from wounds. Right? And that's why I always take time out away from all of that. And I will address who I am and who I've become and where I'm going before I decide to put that out there for the masses. And I've learned to do this. This is not something you just like automatically know. But that's why I share my journey with you. And I share the tips that worked while healing. I also tell you about the things that didn't work also. And I tell you why it didn't work. Because sometimes it's not what, it could be your approach of what. And that's how I share my methods of how we can collectively get the lead out of the paint. When you get to the point where you understand what you learn from your mistakes, no one can hold them over your head. They can't make you feel less than who you are, like everyone doesn't have life mistakes. And we have to humble ourselves to realize when we're in that position of looking down on others because of the mistakes that they have made. You know, it's one way, like you could reprimand something without coming from a place. You could denounce something without coming from a place of, I'm better than this. You could coming from, well, my life path has shown me that this is not the way. Right? And this is another thing, right? When you enter in relationships, you can't base them based on the things that other people have experienced. Why? Because I've learned a lot of things when you, from observing people, from being involved with people myself. But the one thing that rings true about these things is that as people grow, the more they know, right? And as you know more, of course your actions are going to be different. And everyone's an individual. The way we interact with each other, we're individuals. And we have individual functions. And so my interaction with one person might be totally different. I've seen scenarios where a person was abusive to one individual, but not abusive to anyone else. So there's also things about how we engage in scenarios with one another. So don't look down on yourself that you're not in a position, or you haven't been in a position to find a person that's compatible for you. And all the relationships that you've endured prior to right now, they were all there to prep you so you could clear. Think about how much you've grown in all your relationships. Imagine you were that same person you were in your first relationship right now. How successful do you think you'll be in life? I mean, the exact same person, carry yourself the exact same way. How successful do you think you would be in life? So you have to have gratitude for your life lessons. They're not here to punish you. They're here to level you up. But it's all in how you look at them. Because I had to do that paradigm shift myself. There was a time where I carried that woe is me, and I'm a victim, and I've gone through all of this, and then I had to grow out of that. Because I had to realize, what part did I play in that victimhood? How did I assist that process? And how do I grow beyond that? See, that is what I had to do. And this is what I implore you to do. Right? Shift from that victim mentality. Let all that past hurt go. Those people, those things, that circumstance, whatever it is, just remember the wisdom gained and leave behind the pain. I promise you, your life will be more successful as a result. When you are in pain, you're shutting off your heart. Your heart chakra controls receiving. In order for you to receive, it has to be open in a healthy way. So there's exercises you could do to balance that out, including wearing a rose quartz crystal. It works wonders. But you don't have to take my word for it. In the words of LeVar Burton, try it for yourself. See, I'm not a person that forces any ideology on anybody. Either show and prove, or your life has to show you what your path is. Not everybody's path is the same. And not everybody's going to see things the same. And that's what we have to accept. And once you accept that, then you can start moving on to the things and the people that see things the way you do. In a positive way, hopefully. But even if it's in a negative way, it's there to teach you something. But what matters the most is celebrating the time that you have right now. You're actually free. So let the adventure begin. Find that inner balance. Once you do, your next venture is destination wealth. But you have to love where you are and where you live right now. If you don't love who you are and where you are right now, you're not going to love where you're going. I promise you. There's no way possible. There's a nature of helping things grow. And it's you living well yourself and healing. If you heal you, everyone that listening, you heal you, the rest of the world will feel that vibration. And I want you to appreciate all of the little steps it took to get to where you are. That's the process of appreciating those people who, even those that broke your heart. It was all to level you up. And if you need help, I can help you and guide you on that path so you can see what it is for you, because your path is not going to be the same as mine. But I can help you in that direction of wherever it is you need to go. I want you to be awesome. Just dare to be. Dare to step fully into life. Right? And think about what this life is asking for of you. Because if you're going the wrong way, the doors will be closed in that direction until you get on the right path. So I want you to go beyond what's your next money move. I want you to get to the point of trusting life, and that's how you aim higher. Finding that inner balance between the two. You can't be so caught up on materialistic things or so caught up on spiritual things. There has to be an inner balance. Because we're spiritual people, right? And we're having a physical experience. And why we're having this physical experience, it's not only for you to suffer, it's for you to grow from it. And every moment you have to live, laugh, love. And do it beyond just the words. See, a lot of us get caught up in just talking. But what about the action behind that talk? Are you walking the talk? If not, now's the time. I'm not here to put down anybody. I'm just saying, it's time. Show your gratitude to the people that assisted you on your path. Say to yourself, I am worthy of breaking free from what has been so that I can move swiftly into a new expression. Leave all of that past stuff in the rear. And then say to yourself, I trust that I am worthy to receive. You are worthy. You have to grow. And with that grow, you got to manifest everything you want. And in the middle of that manifestation, keep going. Don't give up. That's the thing. A lot of things we give up on. You got to finish strong. Why? Because strength looks incredible on you. And collectively coming together and sharing resources, that is even nicer. What are the objects of your enlightenment? That's what I want you to think about. Be in your essence. That's what the world needs. Another you, not another me. Another you. Right? That's why you got the job of you. That's why you're here to be you. Not me, not anyone else, but you. So that's why you got to find the man or woman within. And know that you got this. Love yourself through the process. The more you love yourself, the more you'll heal. And people don't know what that means because I never knew, love yourself. I didn't know what that really entailed. It means treating yourself the way you want to be treated. And not waiting for someone else to do that. And know and understand that everybody you see is a reflection of you in a different shape, form, or fashion. Maybe if you see that, you'll be more compassionate with one another. Because I am you. If not, you wouldn't even be listening right now. You wouldn't even hear what I'm saying if that wasn't true. Do what you love and expand your practice. Let go and explore. I want you to live on and actually feel free. You're beautiful in your own right. There's someone for everyone. It's a lot of things. I had certain insecurities when I was coming up until there were people I met that loved those very insecurities that I was looking down on myself about. And then they realized, like, why was I offended? Why was I even wanting that person's approval? Those are the questions I ask myself when I'm offended. After that conversation I had with my cousin one day. And he said that. He said, cuz, the only time you're ever offended is when you're looking for validation from that person or entity that you're offended by. And when he said that, it shifted my mindset. And then I started doing things differently. This is a conversation we had a couple of months ago. But just like that, and how one conversation could shift your life, imagine that for other people. So sometimes you have to watch for changed behavior. Don't just listen to their words. Yeah, I changed, da 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 da. Watch. Right? Look for the changes. It's not just about people talking about these changes. You have to see these changes. And they don't happen overnight. I had my own test yesterday that I failed miserably. I allowed myself to get triggered and I came out of character and I spoke to someone very disrespectfully. And you know what? I owe that person an apology and I'm going to have to give them one. But I spoke to them disrespectfully. All based on being triggered. So just as that can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. I don't put myself on a pedestal, but I do teach about the mistakes I made, and I'm transparent about it, and I'm open about it. Because we have to understand and learn self-accountability. You know? And part of being accountable for self is being able to admit when you were wrong. And I was wrong. But I allowed myself to get triggered to that point. So it caused me to fall back and look into myself and realize, why was I triggered in that moment? And what could I do differently in a moment like that? So yeah, I have more blueprints. And it also was a lesson in, because I struggled throughout the years with pride issues. And pride issues don't always mean like you're flaunting yourself and, being boastful. That's not always what pride is. Pride could also be, I don't want to ask for anything. Pride could also show up in a form of, I don't want you to see my weaknesses and flaws. But when I had that ego death, the death of the ego, it needed to die at one point. Because it was doing way too much in my life. I had to recreate who I was. And that's what I share, right? With the different people and different experiences. And I realized that's why I had to work in so many different industries throughout the years and do all these different things in order to have the knowledge that I have today about them. Know and understand we are all we got, and a little bit more compassion with one another. We were reared in a toxic environment. This planet that we inherited at the time was toxic because of what we've done to it. And until we change the way we move, until we change the way we structure our lives and how we interact with one another, it's going to continue to be toxic. So what can you do to assist us on this journey? Now, if you need further help, you can head over to ShekinahWisdom.com where you can book an appointment. If you want art therapy, you can head over to mucollection.com. And if you want to support the work we're doing, you can cash out Unearthing of Truth. All right, my lovelies, until our minds meet again, you have a wonderful, thought-provoking Thursday.